In the dead of night, inside one of the most heavily guarded buildings in Dublin, a crime so daring and calculated took place that it left authorities stunned for over a century. The Irish crown jewels, priceless royal treasures, vanished without a trace from a locked safe inside Dublin Castle, the seat of British power in Ireland. There were no signs of forced entry, no broken locks, and no clear suspects. A robbery so perfect, it felt like a ghost had taken them. For over a century, historians and investigators have struggled to answer one haunting question. Who stole the Irish crown jewels and why? Was it an inside job, a political statement, or could it have been part of an elaborate cover-up? Today, we're diving deep into one of the most confounding heists in history, a case that remains unsolved to this very day. The Irish crown jewels were no ordinary treasures. They consisted of a diamond-encrusted star, a golden cross, and a collection of ruby and sapphire-studded insignia, all originally belonging to the Order of St. Patrick, Ireland's equivalent of Britain's Order of the Garter. These jewels symbolized royal authority and were worn only by the highest-ranking officials of the British monarchy in Ireland. Their value was immeasurable, not just in gold and gems, but in political and symbolic power. By 1907, these treasures were kept inside a secure vault at Dublin Castle, the headquarters of British rule in Ireland. The jewels were placed in a specially designed safe inside the Office of Arms, a room that was supposedly impenetrable without the right keys. The castle itself was constantly patrolled by guards, and access was tightly restricted. And yet, against all odds, the jewels vanished just days before an important royal ceremony. The robbery was discovered on July 6, 1907, when officials arrived at the Office of Arms to prepare the jewels for a grand event where King Edward VII would appoint new knights of the Order of St. Patrick. But when they unlocked the safe, the compartments were empty. The precious diamonds and gold, gone. There was no sign of a break-in, no smashed doors, no forced locks. It was as if the jewels had simply disappeared into thin air. Panic spread through Dublin Castle like wildfire. How could something so heavily guarded be stolen without a single clue left behind? The police were called in immediately, and the first person under suspicion was Sir Arthur Vickers, the man responsible for the security of the jewels. Vickers was the Ulster King of Arms, meaning he was in charge of Ireland's heraldic traditions, and more importantly, he had the only known set of keys to the safe. When questioned, Vickers was adamant that he had nothing to do with the theft. He claimed that the last time he saw the jewels, they were locked up safely inside the vault, but something didn't add up. Investigators quickly learned that Vickers had a habit of leaving the keys unattended, sometimes even while drinking in the company of friends. Even worse, some reports suggested that he had been seen passed out drunk inside the castle the night before the theft. The scandal grew as rumors swirled. Could it have been an inside job? Some believed the theft was a carefully planned conspiracy involving members of the castle's own staff. Dublin Castle was known to be a place of intrigue and secrecy, where government officials and aristocrats had their own hidden agendas. Others speculated that it was a politically motivated theft, perhaps an act of Irish nationalists seeking to humiliate the British establishment. The British authorities were desperate to solve the case. King Edward VII himself was furious about the loss, and pressure mounted on investigators to find the culprits. Rewards were offered, interrogations were carried out, and dozens of suspects were questioned. But despite months of investigation, no one could answer the most crucial question. How did the thieves get past the security of Dublin Castle without anyone noticing? A shocking theory soon emerged. What if the thieves had a key? The evidence suggested that whoever took the jewels did not need to break in. They simply unlocked the safe as if they had every right to be there. And if that was true, then the prime suspect had to be someone from the inside. Sir Arthur Vickers remained under scrutiny, but he refused to take responsibility, even as the scandal cost him his career. The case took another turn when it was revealed that Dublin Castle had a secretive network of spies, blackmail, and personal feuds. Some whispered that higher-ups in the British government might have had a hand in the disappearance, either as part of a cover-up or to settle political disputes. Could it have been an inside betrayal? Someone with power, wiping away evidence to protect their own interests? Despite the countless investigations and conspiracy theories, the Irish crown jewels have never been found. The case was quietly dropped, and no one was ever officially charged with the crime. Some believe the jewels were melted down and sold off, while others suspect they still exist, hidden in a private collection somewhere. But one thing is certain: whoever stole them got away with one of the greatest unsolved heists in history. As the dust settled on the scandal, one thing became clear: this was no ordinary theft. The fact that no arrests were ever made and that the British authorities seemingly allowed the case to fade into obscurity suggests that powerful figures might have been involved. Some investigators believe the entire case was hushed up to prevent an even bigger scandal, one that could expose corruption, incompetence, or even royal conspiracy. One of the most persistent theories is that the jewels were stolen to fund a rebellion. At the time, Ireland was rife with political unrest, and the push for independence from British rule was gaining momentum. Some historians suggest that Irish nationalists could have orchestrated the heist to embarrass the monarchy and finance underground movements. If that's true, the Irish crown jewels might have played a secret role in funding Ireland's path to independence. But not all theories involve politics. Another possibility is simple greed. The jewels were worth a fortune, and high society figures who frequented Dublin Castle were known for their lavish lifestyles and hidden financial troubles. Could it have been a desperate aristocrat, drowning in debt, who orchestrated the perfect crime? Some believe the jewels were secretly smuggled out of Ireland and sold to private collectors, never to be seen again. In a bizarre twist, decades after the robbery, Sir Arthur Vickers, who had long protested his innocence, was murdered under mysterious circumstances. In 1921, during the Irish War of Independence, Vickers was dragged from his home by the Irish Republican Army and executed. Some say his death had nothing to do with the stolen jewels, while others claim he was silenced for knowing too much. As the years passed, investigators tried to track down leads, but each time, the trail went cold. In the 1980s, an Irish journalist claimed to have found a vital clue hidden in British government archives, but before anything could be revealed, the documents were reportedly sealed away indefinitely. Was the truth too dangerous to uncover? Could the British government still be hiding something about the theft? If the Irish crown jewels were ever recovered, they would be worth tens of millions of dollars today. Some treasure hunters have dedicated their lives to searching for them, believing they may still be hidden somewhere within Dublin Castle, in a forgotten chamber or secret tunnel. Others speculate that the jewels could be locked away in a private collection, hidden from the world forever. The Irish government has never given up hope that one day the jewels might be returned. Over the years, multiple campaigns have called for a renewed investigation, but without new evidence, the case remains at a standstill. Some believe a deathbed confession or the release of classified documents might one day reveal the truth. Until then, the fate of the Irish crown jewels remains one of history's greatest mysteries. What makes this case even more intriguing is the lack of any real suspects. Unlike other famous heists, where investigators have at least a theory about who was responsible, the theft of the Irish crown jewels remains a perfect crime, one with no clear culprits, no witnesses, and no explanation. Did the thief get away with it and live out their life in wealth and secrecy? Or was the crime covered up, never meant to be solved? More than a century later, the stolen Irish crown jewels remain one of the greatest unsolved crimes in history. No arrests, no clues, no recovery, just a void where history should have been. The mystery still fascinates crime enthusiasts, historians, and treasure hunters alike. And perhaps, somewhere in the world, the person or their descendants who knows the truth is still out there, keeping a century-old secret. So, What do you think? Was this a brilliantly executed heist, or an inside job covered up by the British elite? Could the jewels still be out there, hidden away in a private collection or a long-forgotten vault? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. And if you love diving into mysteries, heists, and true crime, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because at Crime Chronicles, the truth is always worth chasing.